So it's officially been a week since my last video on the Deadpool Creator Cup situation, the Kingsman situation. And I've had some fun covering some other topics in the gaming space since then, including some shorter videos, which has been nice. But I do want to make a longer video today because we are going to revisit the Deadpool Creator Cup situation, specifically about Luciyasa. Because in that video, we have some information that's very interesting, specifically what Luciyasa said about her fellow creator in the rival space being the creator known as AndTGro. And she had apparently accused the guy of being a Charlie Kirk supporter, to which he responded, and then Luciyasa seemingly doubled down on this apparent false accusation. And the reason this is especially interesting to go back and take a look at now is because of the timeline of events. As in that prior video, Luciyasa finally found out, we talked about how her deleted Twitch VODs actually resurfaced. Someone had re-uploaded them on a website titled luciyasa.pages.dev or something like that. Well, since then, apparently, the videos have been taken down from there too. You now get a 404 error, so I don't know if Luciyasa sent something to this person or if they did it themselves. I have no idea what happened with that. But yeah, you apparently can't see those VODs anymore. But nevertheless, while they were still up, there was a especially interesting piece near the end of that video, which I'll play right now.
He's a Charlie Kirk sympathizer. Here you go. He's saying, the year of being bothered by someone being killed for political opinions is wrong. And the political opinion is literally Zionism. He's, okay. All right. And the political opinion is literally Zionism.
So first of all, she seems to be implying that she's totally okay with the concept of game-ending someone, of eliminating someone in real life if they have that opinion about Israel that she disagrees with. But you got to question how much she really cares about Palestine anyways. I mean, this is someone who used her alleged donations to Palestine as a deflection from criticism before. She was literally getting criticized from her own viewers about a take that she also made about Kingsman, comparing supporting Kingsman to people supporting Israel, which, as we've said multiple times now in different videos, was a very weird comparison. But she was getting criticism for that comparison from her own viewers, and she started virtue signaling how much she donated to Palestine, saying something like, "Oh, I've donated more than any of you guys," as if it's just a shield to wave around to deflect criticism with.
Thank you for addressing the Israel thing. When I first heard it, I was really disappointed. Yeah, dude, I'm literally a Muslim Lebanese Arab. I'm a Muslim Lebanese Arab. Like, get that? Like, that's crazy to me. I am a Lebanese Arab. Like, I have 100% donated more. I have definitely donated more than all of you guys combined.
But hey, we already talked about that. The reason we're here again today is because there's something new that popped up, and it has to do with the timeline of events that I noticed regarding accusations she made about the rival's creator AndTGro, his response, and how she ghosted the guy multiple times only to apparently just double down, or I guess you could say triple down later. And with all of the information that's now publicly available from those re-uploaded VODs, we can see just how bad Lucy and that whole group really looks. But before we get to that conclusion, let me give you some context into what this is all about with AndTGro and Cece, Luciyasa, and this whole Mean Girl Club, so to speak. So AndTGro was a part of this Discord server titled Rival Creators, which, as it sounds, is apparently for Marvel Rivals creators. AndTGro, who I'm just going to call T moving forward because it's way easier, also says that CeceFPS is the leader of that Discord server. And so T alleges that back in 2025, he was getting falsely accused of being a Charlie Kirk supporter by Luciyasa, and specifically how she was claiming that he said something about, quote, "pray for Charlie Kirk," unquote, which T goes on to refute, saying he never said that. He initially addressed this back in 2025 on his TikTok page, and I'll play a relevant portion of that video right here for you to see for yourself. But one quick side note, he sped the video up. I'm not speeding it up. I guess maybe he did it for TikTok or something. Nevertheless, here you go.
Anyways, I found out that she was upset because I had said something along the lines of pray for Charlie Kirk. I then looked through all my stories I'd ever posted. The one story I ever posted related to Charlie Kirk, I will now post now just so you can see it real quick. Hey guys, so cheering for the assassination of somebody who has different political opinions than you is kind of fucking crazy. Have a night. Which, by the way, I would say the exact same thing if it was somebody like Hassan Abi being assassinated. It's terrible. I don't care who's a victim. That's the definition of terrorism, is to kill somebody or perpetuate political violence based on an ideology.
The video goes on significantly longer than that. He also talks about how Luciyasa's boyfriend apparently came to his stream, started accusing him of stuff, and he responds similarly saying like, dude, I never said that stuff. You guys are making false quotes up, and it just keeps spiraling out of control from there. Ultimately, from what I've seen, the guy seems to have a pretty neutral stance. He's not really saying that he sides with Charlie Kirk or is a fan of Charlie Kirk or anything like that. He's simply condemning what happened and condemning political violence. As you heard, he said he'd say the same thing if it happened to someone else. For example, a leftist streamer, like a certain Zapper, Dog Zapper. But Luciyasa, according to him, completely misrepresents this and essentially accuses him of like directly being a Charlie Kirk supporter, as mentioned. By the way, it's insane that Luciyasa is trying to paint this dude out as a problem for his neutral stance. Yet earlier in the video, as I played, Luciyasa made a take that many would see as her implying that it's okay to literally eliminate people in real life over their opinion on Zionism and Israel. And it's like, bro, that is so much more extreme than anything T has said. This dude is on record condemning political violence. Luciyasa is on record arguably doing the opposite and advocating for political violence against people that she disagrees with. Yet Luciyasa is going to say that he's the problem, and CeceFPS is going to side with Luciyasa. So T makes these TikTok videos responding to the alleged defamation, and eventually in September 2025 gets a DM from Luciyasa that reads, "Hi AndTGro, I'm done streaming and I don't want there to be any bad blood between us. I want to actually communicate things privately." Oh, this is I gotta pause already. This is hilarious because, as you'll see in a moment, she does the complete opposite. She doesn't actually discuss anything. She just ghosts the dude. She literally stops talking to the guy. And it's not like she made an effort to communicate with him either. Like, she sends that, and then he starts explaining his side, and then she just like instantly ghosts him. But anyways, you'll see, like I said. So continuing, she says in this DM, "I want to actually communicate things privately because you said yourself that you didn't even watch my live and you were going off of chat. I don't appreciate you posting a whole video about this when I didn't even get to talk about it to you. I'm not sure if this is for TikTok revenue, but human to human, I'd like to actually talk to you if you feel offended by anything I said." He responds and says, "I'm happy to talk about it with you." That is a crazy statement, though, to imply this is for TikTok revenue. As I've said multiple times, I'm simply making a video to clear my name of something that simply didn't happen. I really think that's a wild thing to say, Lucy. Then we can see Luciyasa saying, "Okay, can you let me know what I accused you of? So we can start from the beginning and I can better understand why this is such a big deal." Then we can see a series of DMs from him. He says, "Okay, wait, hold on. I really don't appreciate you insinuating I'm defending myself for money. Like, I don't even really want to gloss over that. I made a video since I had dozens of people in my live and DMing me saying that were untrue and had no founding. I don't care about money from a TikTok." She says, "Okay." That's it. That's all she says. Okay. What happened to the whole, "Oh, we need to communicate things human to human"? This was her human to human interaction. "Hey, why is this a big deal?" Okay, and that's it. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself. T also said this before getting ghosted. "Okay, so I'll start by saying I try to go into all situations assuming that I don't know factors involved, so I have no preconceived ideas on anything specific you said on stream. I don't take what random chatters say as 100% truth, and I don't want any ill feelings towards any human, really regardless of ideology. My issue today was that upon being told you unfollowed me, and the claims were that you said something along the lines of, quote, 'I said to pray for Charlie Kirk,' unquote, I immediately discounted that as just a possible random chat accusation with no real basis that I should consider. However, after seeing you did in fact unfollow me, and you yourself said you unfollowed me for the same reason as the chatter, that means that you've spoken about it in some capacity on stream or in a public setting of some kind. So then my next logical question is, what did I say or do that made you unfollow me? Then I find the reason you're unfollowing me is based off of something that didn't happen. I never said, quote, 'pray for Charlie Kirk,' unquote, or any such thing. So naturally, I'm a bit upset that you made claims in a public setting that are unfounded and untrue, leading others to also be misled by your claims. That's an issue, and that's why I made a video, simply to say, hey, what was said about me didn't happen, and therefore it's inappropriate to just make random baseless claims." She says nothing in response, and eventually he says, "Are you going to respond to any of this? Again, I'm quite frustrated that you made claims about me publicly that are incorrect and unfounded, then accusing me of doing it for clout or money. Like, that's just super wild and toxic." Well, we know the part where he said that he doesn't want any ill feelings towards any human, really regardless of ideology, probably offended Luciyasa. She probably saw that. And she was like, "Oh, I can't talk to this guy." Nah, but real talk, how pathetic is that? "I want to talk, communicate human to human," just says nothing. And then it gets worse, though, because in the resurfaced VODs, the deleted stream from January 22nd, 2026, Luciyasa is still apparently defaming this dude. And again, that's why I'm revisiting this topic, because combining what AndTGro talked about a few weeks ago with the new information we have from the resurfaced VOD, I mean, it just all makes Luciyasa and CeceFPS look so awful. And so before we get to that, before we get back to January 22nd, let's talk about Cece's involvement here. As AndTGro would go on and leak these DMs he got from CeceFPS on October 2nd. So not long after that exchange he had with Luciyasa. You know, we're talking about like a few days after that. And CeceFPS reaches out to T, DMs him and says, yo, just reaching out to you because I kind of have to do some mediator stuff, but I hope you and Lucy can privately talk it out because on her end, it's getting to the point of harassment from chatters. Again, at this point in time, he had already reached out to her. She's ghosted him. And he's on the receiving end of this alleged defamation that has caused people to harass him. He's saying that's what's happening to him, that her chatters are coming to his stream and harassing him, and other people as well from the internet that are hearing this defamation are coming to harass him. So he didn't instigate this. He didn't start it. He's on the receiving end, apparently, according to the story, right? But Cece negates all of that and is saying that it's actually his chatters that are harassing her, because how dare he defend himself from this alleged defamation? She goes on and says, 100% agree you can defend yourself however you want, but compared to her speaking to roughly 200 viewers, you've brought it to maybe 12,000 people and counting. The harassment she'll face is just going to steadily increase indefinitely, and I don't want that for any creator. She brought it to my attention, and I saw your videos, and there's a lot of stuff that's not on me to like nitpick or pick apart, but she showed me clips in her VOD that had her saying my bad if she got it wrong and her basically backpedaling. It's hard from a creator perspective to take something that happened on stream and then go make a TikTok on it because it brings too much unwarranted attention, and makes a bigger deal out of things than needed to be. Usually with stuff like this, creators go on Twitter, but I think rival creators love doing everything on TikTok, lol. Anyways, I know you're just defending yourself, but I don't know if you plan to. I kind of have to give you a warning. If you keep making multiple videos on it, it'll have to count as harassment, and I'd have to kick you from the rival server, but like only if you do. I think you are on your own person and you're allowed to post whatever you want, and I don't care usually what happened between creators, but I can't condone future videos from either of you on it. So I'm hoping you guys can settle this peacefully, lol. I took a peep at the comment section and it's just a lot of negativity brewing towards the both of you, and I'm traumatized from seeing that stuff from my Valorant days. So once again, he didn't start this stuff. It doesn't matter. Oh, you have more viewers than she does. He didn't take the first shot. She did. You can't then turn around and play victim when he's trying to clear up a lie. And then making it even more extreme is this context where Charlie Kirk got eliminated. And you have people on social media getting a lot of support, making takes, advocating for further political violence against people who support Charlie Kirk. So if she's lying about this dude supporting Charlie Kirk when his stance is actually more neutral, it's not even just an issue of defamation at that point, but also potentially what violence that could incite his direction. And so ultimately, T goes on to defend himself some more here, talking to CeceFPS, and she ends by saying this. Yeah, I know this pretty much. And yeah, I think what you did was fine. I'm saying it'll be a problem if you continue posting more, like making more videos. And from the times I've watched your streams and your content, I know you wouldn't promote harassment or send anyone her way to attack her. It's just unfortunate social media allows anyone to say whatever they want. Well, considering that CeceFPS is essentially victim blaming this dude and trying to censor his speech, you could only imagine what would happen if she was the arbiter of what's allowed to be said on the internet and what's not. And so now with all that context, that takes us back to the beginning of the video and the aforementioned clip, apparently from Luciyasa's January 22nd, 2026 live stream, where even a few weeks ago, even this year, she's still apparently defaming this guy. And keep in mind, on January 21st is when T made his video, the AndTGro Files, exposing all this behavior. Yet apparently one day later, Luciyasa was on stream saying this.
He's a Charlie Kirk sympathizer. Here you go. He's saying, the year of being bothered by someone being killed for political opinions is wrong. And the political opinion is literally Zionism. He's, okay. All right. And the political opinion is literally Zionism.
In T's January 21st video, he also explains why he didn't come forward with this information right away, and why he also doesn't believe any of the apologies from this group of women that harassed Kingsman and also him.
I hope that me speaking on these issues creates an environment where small creators are able to stick up for themselves or speak out against bigger creators who are doing something wrong without receiving threats to be silent. Nobody should be told to stand by and submit to poor behavior or poor treatment. Thankfully, I'm finally in a position where I'm able to speak about this without fear of retribution. Again, this is stuff I've been holding on to literally for months. I hope this serves as a lesson to speak up for what's right and never stand down on something you believe in. I unfortunately let these people rob me of opportunities by not fully committing to clear my name of slander and clearing my name properly and fully that I would have only been able to participate in had I submitted. I unfortunately had no power to stick up for myself. With this current situation with Kingsman, thankfully the community has pretty much unanimously decided Kingsman was a victim in this scenario and did not deserve the treatment he was receiving from this group. I'd also like to point out that it was only until after this blew up in such a way that apologies were made and given to Kingsman. My point is, when there's not an eye on this type of stuff, it just goes and there's zero accountability. It's only when there are eyes on the situation where suddenly we're apologetic and in the wrong.
So he's essentially saying that, yeah, their apologies are not genuine to Kingsman. And it seems like the majority opinion from people that have followed this topic hold the same sentiment. They don't believe those apologies. As a matter of fact, those apologies from CeceFPS and Zazastack looked more like them trying to play victim than anything. Then there's Luciyasa, who again, I don't think ever really apologized for this stuff at all. If anything, she doubled and tripled down more. And none of these people seem to have ever apologized to T for what they did to him. As a matter of fact, as we already discussed, it looks like Luciyasa went and tripled down the next day after he made this video. She then quickly deleted the VOD after the stream, but as you know, someone actually got all the VODs and re-uploaded them to that website, luciyasa.pages.dev or whatever it's called, and now you get a 404 error when you go to watch the VODs. So again, I don't know what happened with that, but yeah, this is all to say that this group is so freaking toxic. The Kingsman stuff was terrible enough, and then the stuff that T exposed as well, I mean, it just gets worse. Now, to be quite frank, normally when I cover controversies and someone jumps in the middle of it with their own story, a lot of the time I don't really cover that stuff because they don't have evidence. And it's like, sure, they might be telling the truth, but sometimes people are opportunistic and they just jump into controversies with their own story that may or may not be true to try to like ride the publicity, so to speak. But this doesn't seem to be one of those situations because T actually did have receipts. He actually had those messages that corroborate what he said. And then furthermore, from the deleted January 22nd VOD, it does seem like that's further evidence backing up what T has said. And so ultimately, that's why I decided to go back, watch his video, and cover all of this in more detail in this video. Let me know what you think about this. I do hope you enjoyed the coverage. I will also link AndTGro's full video in the description if you want to check out the entire thing for yourself. And as always, thank you for tuning in. Have a lovely week ahead, and I'll see you in the next one.